Hi everyone, I'm Fatimah Benta Gamse, a screenwriter and producer, and you're listening to Sceneful Sundays.
Did Nigeria break your spirit?
Listen, sometimes not that reliable, but it's the voice of the people sometimes. You know you're a good doctor if people don't keep dying.
A podcast that highlights storytellers and filmmakers in Nollywood.
Because I don't want anybody to drag me if you see me doing another Lolaro. Just now I was broke.
I go to audition for a project and it's full of these guys from Big Brother. I'm like, I went to drama school now. I have masters in acting now.
Do you have 1 million followers?
Yeah, we talk about everything from career ups and downs to personal gist and all the juicy things that go into the world of storytelling as we know it.
It's another episode of Sceneful Sundays, and I have Ade.
Hi, Fatimah.
Okay, so let's relax. How are you doing?
I'm good. I feel like Cher. You're like, oh, it's just Ade, just like one name, one word, and everybody would know who she is.
Ade Laoye. But yeah, trust her to mention Cher. That's who she is. So, okay, now I'm actually like asking seriously, how are you doing?
I can honestly say that I feel like I'm languishing. And that just means...
What does that even mean?
It means, like, it's sort of like the aftermath of like the COVID year where you're just not really sure.
But COVID is still here.
Well, yes, but it's not, thank God for vaccines and stuff. Compared to like last year, we're not, in lockdown, at least not on this side of the world. The panic and the paranoia that defined most of 2020 is no longer the case. Again, in this part of the world. So I feel like it's sort of like, when like chaos happens and then it's like the aftermath where the dust is settling and you don't know which way is up just yet. You're still trying to find your bearings. And it's like you're afraid to get too excited about anything because you're like, what if something else comes and then scatters it again? So it's just this state of just being there, not getting too excited, not getting too depressed. There's more depression there, but you're just literally trying to keep it together. You're trying to stay focused and you're just trying to make it through the day. So that's how I feel.
That chaotic for you?
Yes. Wasn't it for you? It was for the entire world. I got COVID actually. But yeah, I had, say, relatively mild symptoms. I felt like I was fighting off something. You know how that like sort of...
Did you get the test or you just got
I didn't get
symptoms
tested.
and you just
I
went
had
with
symptoms.
It?
I thought it was like, okay, could it be malaria? Could it be... Because I'm not one of those people who get sick often. Like, I don't really get sick. So if I'm sick, I'm like, something is wrong. Okay. So just kind of felt achy, was tired, was sleeping a lot. I just did a lot of like, Netflix and chilling. I was just in bed, just drinking my tea and all of that stuff. And then, so that was like for 3 days. Didn't cough, no coughing, no trouble breathing. But I noticed that my lymph nodes, like right under my jaw, were like really swollen. And for me, that's clear, you're fighting off something.
Right. Yeah.
And then that was me for like 3 days. So I just slept a lot and I was just really tired. 4th day, I felt much better. And then I lost my sense of smell and taste completely.
How did that feel?
That's what I was like,
talk about it, but like, I don't get it. How?
It's weird because so the way I even found out I lost my sense of smell and taste. There's this really like gross garlic ginger tea concoction that I make.
Yeah.
And when I was feeling sick, so I'd been drinking that while on lockdown just, to boost the immune system and stuff. And then when I got sick, I started drinking it again because I was just like, okay, let me flush out whatever is in my system. It's really gross. Like, it's really nasty, but it's good for you. So that 4th day, I made the tea and I was drinking it and I was like, it doesn't taste as strong today. So in my mind, I thought, okay, maybe my taste bud, I'm getting used to it and stuff. And then I have an essential oil diffuser in my house. It's like my lemongrass and rosemary and co. So I put on my diffuser. And after like 30 minutes, I couldn't smell it. So I was like, did I not switch it on? Like in my mind, I was like, maybe I didn't. I put the oils in, I didn't turn it on. And so I went over to where the diffuser was and I saw that it was on and I couldn't smell it. I was like, what? Like essential oils are strong. Like they are strong and you smell it within seconds. So that's how I figured it. So it was weird. Fatimah, I'm telling you, I grabbed like cloves of garlic and I was chewing them. And I could not taste anything. I couldn't taste it. I grabbed
How
a
long,
lemon.
how long did that last for?
That lasted for about another 3 days, and then it came back. I grabbed a whole lemon. I was chewing it like it was an apple.
Lemon is delicious, to be fair. So
Yeah, no pucker, nothing. I couldn't feel it. So it was strange.
that was an experience.
Yeah, but thank God for life. Thank God for good health. We're back. So yeah.
So how's your now you say the aftermath, you're languishing.
I'm languishing.
Okay, even if you're afraid to feel like excitement or anything, are you feeling inspired right now? By work, by any, doesn't have to be professional.
I will say yes. Because obviously a lot of projects that were put on hold because of COVID are resuming. I actually just got off a really amazing project that I can't talk about just yet because I signed an NDA.
Actors never talk about anything, but they tell us,
Well, I signed an NDA. So like, before they sent me to prison, just an amazing, amazing movie called The Black Book. That's all I'm going to say because we've kind of announced that a little bit on Twitter. But yeah, so look out for The Black Book. It's going to blow your freaking minds when it comes out. So I just finished shooting that. And then I have Castle and Castle Season 2 coming up.
That's true, on Netflix.
We finished shooting that in March. So it'll be out at some point during the summer months. So
you're feeling good about everything.
So I'm feeling good about work. I'm definitely feeling good about work. I have a lot of great projects coming out this year. Actually, I also have Ayinla, the movie directed by Tunde Kelani, coming out.
Tell us about that.
Well, so it's based on the story of Ayinla Omowura, which is like a very popular Yoruba Akbala musician who lived in the 70s. I think he died in like either 80 or 81. I'm getting my dates mixed up now. And yeah, so it was sort of like a biography about his life. It's played by Lateef Adedimeji, who's an amazing actor. And I played the female lead character in that. So I'm a reporter who is trying to basically get the scoop on his life. So it was amazing working with Tunde Kelani.
Was that your first time working with him?
My first time. So I feel like I have a lot of I have a lot of firsts coming out, and I have just a lot of, I think people get to see me in a really different light with the next couple of projects that I have coming out. So I'm excited.
Okay, so let's go all the way back.
Okay.
So you're an actor, singer. I'm still going to ask you to sing.
Sometimes.
You're going to sing. Because I've had people that said, last time I've had people that said they can't sing, but they did not sing. I let them escape. You're going to sing. I hope I remember. I want to remember. So where did it start from?
How did it start? So I come from a musical family, right? So the Laoye family is
Nikki Laoye is her cousin.
Nikki's my cousin.
D. Nikki Laoye.
Yes. She's an amazing, amazing gospel singer. So my grandfather, my grand uncle, who is the Timi of Ede, was proficient in the talking drum. So he was actually known for playing the talking drum in my hometown and around the world, actually. He played for dignitaries all over the world. He met the Queen at some point. Yeah, so he's performed for like a lot of people. So it's in the blood. It's in the Laoye blood. I have a ton of cousins who also play the drums, who sing. So I chose the acting route. But I loved just growing up. I loved, watching movie musicals. Yeah, you're a lot of Disney. Person. I'm like, I know all the Disney songs by heart. Dinola Gray calls me a real life Disney princess. So I love it. So yes, I've loved music and acting and Broadway. I loved all that growing up. So never in a million years thought I would pursue that as a professional career. So I went to university at Penn State, and I didn't really know what to study. I was like, should I do medicine? Should I do engineering? The usual. Now you're like, okay. And I saw that the theater department at my school was holding auditions, and I was like, theater? This is interesting. And I did like school plays and stuff like that. I used to sing. I won the Miss Nightingale Award at my end of year awards nights. Award ceremony at QC. I was Miss Nightingale. So, so people knew me for, thank you. So people knew me for my singing and for my music. But again, didn't think I was going to study that. So auditioned for the theater department and miraculously got in. I had no idea what I was doing.
Oh, wait, so you auditioned to study?
Yes.
Oh,
yeah, you have to.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you had to audition to get into the program. And I think they saw something in me because I didn't know what I was doing. And that's how my training started. And so I did 4 years at Penn State. And then
What's the degree called?
I got a theater arts degree. So I got a
Okay.
Bachelor of Arts in theater arts, and then moved back to Philadelphia, which is my home base in the States, and started working professionally in theaters. So I did mostly my training, my background is mostly on stage, doing live theater, doing musicals. I did shows like Hairspray.
The
The
Hairspray.
Hairspray. I was in that at some point. Shows like Once on This Island. I was in Cinderella. I played the fairy godmother in a stage play, Cinderella.
So was it only theater back there?
Back then, yes. So I didn't really cross into film and TV until I moved back to Nigeria.
So now let's go to that.
Yeah.
When did you move? Like, what made you move back?
So that's a complicated question because me, Sif, sometimes I'm like, what was I smoking? So couple of things. I lost my mom 11 years ago now, suddenly. And at that point in my life, I was living in New York when that happened, actually. I had just moved to New York. I was living the, bright lights, big city life, living my best life. And my mom died, and it completely shook me and my entire family. And I felt like I was just kind of lost for a while. And I didn't know I felt like all the plans that I had for my life, nothing seemed to matter anymore. I'm like, life sucks and I don't want to do this anymore. So moved back to Philadelphia to be with my family. And then I came to Nigeria for Christmas, one of the years shortly after. And I just remember not wanting to go back. So
Oh dear,
I
one
don't
of those
know.
Christmas holidays that you never go back.
Christmas is a scam. Don't do if you think
Christmas
that's how
in
life
Lagos is a scam.
if you think that's how life is a lie. So they scammed me. That's how I came back. I was like, I'm enjoying life. I got to see a lot of like old friends. Some of my friends who had gone to school abroad were moving back. So it just seemed like a really great time to be around.
Always a great time.
Girl. Lies. So I started networking. I met a lot of people in the industry. OC UKJ was still around at the time. So like I met people like OC, I met Lala. So I felt like I was just like connecting with people.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I think I could do this. Like, and then of course, like being in America, you also see Bella Naija was like the hottest thing ever. So we're always getting our gist on Bella Naija.
So
I was
Nollywood looked like
so
it was
Nollywood just
popping.
looked like the most. It looked like the promised land. And so I was like,
What year
I'm
was
gonna
this?
come. This was 20. So I moved back 2012.
That was the year.
I moved back 2012. Yeah. So it just seemed like there was just great energy about the industry. And I wanted to be a part of that. So, and then my dad was here. So I was like, okay, let me come out and spend some time with my dad. So those are kind of the reasons why.
So what was your first project here?
My first job was a theater play. Oh my gosh, I can't remember what it's called now. It was about this girl, To Love a Ghost. That's it, To Love a Ghost. That was the show. I played this girl who had been abused pretty much through her life. And she's like on her deathbed and trying to basically right all the wrongs that had happened to her in her life before she passed. It was directed by Kenneth Uhoho, actually. So that was my first. It was at Terra. So Terra used to do these plays like every Sunday.
Yeah.
So that was my first. Yeah, that was my first job. And then from there, I started presenting on Ebony Life. So I had auditioned for Ebony Life before the play happened, and then I got the job after the play was done. Yeah, so that's kind of how. So most people met me as a presenter on Ebony Life TV. Basically.
So where did you go after presenting? Where did you decide? Okay, you know what? I actually want to try acting for TV or for film.
So I still continued acting. So I was doing theater mostly. I did Saro. So while I was still a presenter on Ebony Life TV, Saro happened. Saro the musical, BAP Productions, and then I had a small role in this film called Knocking on Heaven's Door. It was on MMS. So yes, I know.
I know that film.
I was in there. I was in the choir.
Oh,
I was in the choir. So I had auditioned for that as well. And then I was in the choir. So I was doing, little things here and there. And then after about 2.5 years with Ebony Life TV, I kept auditioning. So I was always auditioning. And so it just kind of, if I booked something that would work, then I would do it. And then Hush came along. And that's how, and Hush was like a full-time. I was like a full-time.
But before Hush, there was Dari, right?
There was Dari. Oh my gosh, there was
Dari.
Dari.
Was before Hush.
There was Dari, yes. There was Dari. There was, the show with Orica. Also Victor. Hi, Victor.
Retreat?
Victor.
Were you on Retreat?
I was on Retreat.
Oh, okay.
I think Retreat. Was Retreat before? Hush?
Yes,
I think
it
Retreat was.
was.
Oh my gosh.
Hush was 2016.
Yes. So there was Retreat. Oh gosh, there was Dowry, which was also commissioned by Ebony Life. There was the film that I did with Orica, Victor's film.
The letter. Letter to a stranger.
No. Orica and I were sisters. Why am I blanking on this? I'm totally blanking on this. It'll come back to me. But that was like a TV film that Victor Sanchez did. Victor has given me a lot of jobs in this industry. Actually, I'm like Victor
Shout out.
is responsible for a huge part of my career. Actually, so thank you, Victor.
Actually, same here. So
Yeah, I'm like he's given me a lot of opportunities. So yeah, I wanted to be on Tinsel for like the longest time. That was like my dream. I was like, if I can be on Tinsel,
I don't know why I
will
keep
be
thinking you were
happy.
on
I
Tinsel
have never
for
been
some
on
weird
Tinsel.
reason.
I'm probably one of the like 5 actors
Because
in Nigeria who have not
Nollywood
been on
is like,
Tinsel.
what's that thing about
It's a rite of
passage?
passage.
Yes, that's the word.
Yeah, I have not been on Tinsel.
Are you still
Yeah.
interested in being on Tinsel?
I mean, why not? It's a great role, great money. Hello. Why not? I love TV. So I keep dabbling with the idea. I'm like, do I want to go back to TV? But the 260 life it's a lot.
I don't think many
So-
people know when you mention 260. Maybe you should explain.
So 260 is like 260 episodes, right?
For 1 year.
For 1 year. So literally that is your life. You are eating, breathing, sleeping this particular TV show, and that's it. So 260 episodes it's a lot. And
It
it's
is.
yeah.
So you said you were auditioning for like 2 years. I'll talk about like audition experiences,
Okay.
like your
Yeah.
best and your worst audition experiences.
It's so funny. A lot of actors actually hate auditioning. Okay, let me not say I love it. It's part of the actor's life. I mean, in drama school, they would always say that like auditioning is your job as an actor. Booking the job is, a plus, but auditioning is your job. So I got used to it. I think I learned how to do it. So I
Were
don't
you trained
dread.
for it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We would take like
Yeah.
audition technique classes. So there's a whole technique to being good at auditions, basically.
wow. Wait, sorry.
yeah.
I want to ask. Let's be asking.
Yeah.
Can you share a few?
Yeah.
For
Okay.
anyone that like cares to know.
To know, of course. So I would say the first thing about being good at auditions is preparation. You
Okay.
know, auditions in Nigeria are a little different from auditions in America because they also tend to give you a lot more information. So you're walking in there, if you're auditioning for a musical, you know what song you're going to be singing. You know which parts of the song you're going to be singing. They ask you to prepare a monologue, or they'll send you sides to read, the scripts to read beforehand, or they could give you the script when you get there. So if you don't have a lot of time to prepare, your acting training is then what kicks in so that you can make choices about the script that is in front of you. But I would say the biggest advice is preparation. If you go in there knowing your lines, knowing what is expected of you, you've done the work beforehand. Yes, you'll get nervous, but you just get used to that one. There's no, So I would say the more prepared you are, the easier I think the audition would be. And also letting go of the notion of that if you're not picked, that it means you're not talented. That's a lie, because
Yeah.
oftentimes you don't really know what they're looking for. And just because you don't book a job, it
In
doesn't
that
mean
moment.
in that moment, yeah, it doesn't
Yeah.
mean you didn't do a great job. It could just mean, oh, you're not the right look. Oh, you're not the right height. Oh, you're not the right size. I mean, fill in the
Plus,
blank.
they keep your details and they'll contact you
Yes.
later for other roles that might
Yes.
fit you.
I've definitely gotten jobs where they're like, oh, I saw you audition. You weren't right for that project, but then we remembered you for something else and we
Exactly.
called you back in. So just go in there, dazzle them. Whether you get the job or not, just let it go. But if you're prepared, you'll be fine. So bad auditions. Auditioning, because I've blown now, so I don't really audition anymore. He's a lie, please, I'm lying.
See, you need to address
See.
that. You need to address that because people still think actors don't they think certain actors don't audition anymore. They just call you,
Yeah.
pick you up and say, "Oh, we have this role. It's for you."
Yes. So that is true to a certain extent. I'm not one of those people who, I don't think you can ever be too big to audition. Like, you're an actor. Like,
Exactly,
I
it's your
don't I
job.
don't think being asked to audition is insulting. I don't believe that.
Do some actors find it insulting?
I think so. I think some people are like, they're asking me to audition. I think depending on the circle or the space that you're in, like right now I have an extensive body of work. So anybody who wants to work with me has probably seen a couple of things that I've done. So
Yeah.
it's maybe I don't think it's ever can she do the job or not. I think sometimes it's also to just like test if your energy vibes with the energy of everybody else in that environment. Because just because you're talented doesn't mean you're easy to work with.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So I'm not against auditioning. I love being challenged. I just recorded like a bunch of self tapes like 2 days ago. So I'm just like, but some people find it rude, especially if they feel like they've crossed a certain threshold. But I mean, I do think I don't think anybody asked Viola Davis to audition. You know what I mean? Like
But she will still read for
but
the
she would
role.
read, like you would still
Exactly.
read for. I mean, it's still an audition. I mean, it's still an audition.
Technically, they won't just say the word, but they say,
but
"Come
you
and
like,
read
come
for
and
this
read
role."
for this. But it doesn't mean they'll just automatically give you the job. Like you still kind of have to put in some work. So yeah, at least at this point in my career, I'm still auditioning. Sha. I'm still not above auditioning. So let's just
Okay, so you did Hush.
yes.
Is that big word I want to use? No, I'm not going to use that word. But like, is that the change? Was that the changing point for you? Because I feel me watching from the outside, Hush felt like everything just started rolling in. It looked like that.
I think there is some truth to that, definitely, because I think what Hush did for me was that it put me on people's TVs every night for a whole year, and I was one of the lead characters in Hush. So I think
she became. Let me not say she became the show, but technically, like
I was like,
it was you versus RMD anyway.
She was kind of a big deal on Hush. So I feel like it gave me a platform and it just put me in people's faces every night for a whole year. So it definitely opened
for 4
me
years
up.
actually, because
It's Trisha.
it finale
I think it's
again
still
last
on.
year.
Yeah.
Because they move it to every other channel.
Right.
So you're on our TV for like 4 years.
Basically.
That's like a benefit for 260.
I wish I got those royalty checks though. But
True.
moving on. That would have been nice. I never think there's one turning point or like one defining moment. I think everything kind of leads up to the next, you know? If I never came to Nigeria, I would have never been on Hush. So was the defining moment being on Hush or was the defining moment moving to Nigeria? So I think it's like a snowball effect. Okay. Every choice, every job contributes in some way to the next one. But yeah, I mean, what Hush did for me, definitely, there's no quantifying that for sure. So yeah.
Do you still do theater?
I do. So I actually did a one-woman show.
Oh, no, don't worry. We're getting to that. Because don't worry. We have that one. But like, that's your own personal show.
Yeah.
Okay. I just remembered. You have to sing.
Hey, God.
Yeah.
You need to make me sing.
I'm not going to forget, so let's just do it now.
Oh my gosh.
It doesn't have to be anything long. Just sing. Please, just sing.
What can I sing? Like a whole song or like 10 seconds?
No.
What are we singing?
Feel free.
Okay, I'm going to sing this because I literally sang it like 2 days ago at a jazz club that I went to. At Last by Etta James. I'm like, which song can I sing in my sleep and not think about? So I'm going to do a little bit of At Last for you guys by Etta James. Okay. At last, my love has come along. My lonely days are over. And life is like a song. Oh, yeah. At last, the skies above are blue. My heart was wrapped up in clover. The night I looked at you. Is that okay?
Okay.
Okay. All right. Thanks, guys.
Amazing.
Guys.
Thank you so much.
I'm like, I didn't warm up. I didn't drink my tea. So, that's all I can
she woke
give
up
you.
like that. Does it? But like, we continue. Wait, no, not will you continue singing, but will you actually try singing professionally? Like, release a single, EP, album, all those things?
So many people have asked me that. I'm like, if I had $1 for every time somebody asked me that. The thing is, so I don't consider myself a singer. Let me explain.
Why?
I sing. I don't think I'm a singer. Let me.
What's the difference?
Fatima's like, okay. So when I think of singers or like musicians, I think of people who they write their own songs, they play an instrument.
They don't all write their own songs, by the way.
I feel like I have a mental block about that because I'm like, I'm not a real musician. Like I can sing, but I don't sing. So most of my singing has been in musicals, on stage, doing Broadway type stuff. Do I have a desire to be a recording artist? Not particularly. I mean, I'm not. If somebody was like, okay, I have amazing songs and I just want you to sing it and you handle everything. I mean, sure, why not?
So in summary, you're scared?
I'm not scared. I just don't feel like it's enough of a passion for me to do anything about it. Does that make sense? Like,
yeah, I guess.
I'm not going to go and hire, rent a studio.
You
because
just
I want to
do
record.
it if you want to, not just, I'll go out of my way to do it.
Yeah. I mean, I've done like backup stuff for for musicians before. I did some stuff for Black Magic once upon a time. I did some background vocals. So I've accompanied people. But the work just seems like a lot of work. And I'm just like, I don't know if I'm about that life. But I mean, never say never. So
okay.
Yeah.
Before you moved back, in general, have you only worked in the entertainment industry, or you've worked like other places?
So
is it only from presenting, then acting, then theater, or just
before in America or in Nigeria?
all of the above? Like,
I've never had a different career. So acting has always been my career. But I've had like jobs on the side. So being in America, like, in school, I had like, do part-time jobs. I worked at Starbucks for like 2 years at some point. I was a dog walker at some point.
I'm talking about like
so career. No. All my jobs have been like in between gigs.
Oh, wow.
So acting has always been my profession.
I'm not sure, but I feel you're the first person I'm meeting that's
really?
like straight from school acting. Like, because everybody else, I worked in tech, I worked in this office, I worked in this.
No, I've had jobs to get me through the next gig, basically. I was with a temp company when I was in America. So they would always so I would do like office, like admin stuff for like, a few days or a few weeks until my next gig. But acting has been my profession. I think the only time I had like a 9 to 5 was when I lived in New York, because I didn't want to do the whole waiting table, starving artist life in New York. So I had a job, but again, it was still a temporary, in the meantime kind of thing.
So the physical version of follow your dreams.
Because okay, I'll take it.
Everybody else needed something to. Okay, let me hold on to this job in case.
No,
that's so cool.
I was like, I'm gonna do this and. Yeah, leap and the net will appear, as they say. I was just like, okay.
Okay, well done.
Even though I feel like Nigeria has stolen that spirit from me now. I'm like, yeah, but I was that girl once upon a time.
Did Nigeria break your spirit?
Listen, I'm fighting for my spirits, but Nigeria is it's a tough place to live. Like, in every industry, quality of life is not very high. So, I'm grateful for some of the privileges that I have. I can't, ignore the fact that I'm privileged in many ways, and I'm grateful for that. But it's tough. It's hard for things to grow here. Even our industry, like, we're dealing with issues I feel like we shouldn't be. But
can you talk about some of these issues?
Girl, where can we start? Where should we start from? I think just ease of doing business, for one. I'm like, ease of doing business, just trying to get things going according to schedule. We don't have lights. You're shooting. The generator is making noise. Sound cannot hear you.
Lights takes up like 80% of the budget.
If we had electricity, like 95% of Nigeria's problems would be solved.
Yeah, of course.
So we're spending money on things that if it was just part of, infrastructure, it would make things much easier. I'm even shooting in Lagos. You're dealing with area boys. So it's so much. Like, it's just so much. We're not able to. I feel like we're not able to scale as quickly. I mean, in spite of all the challenges, Nollywood is still a force to be reckoned with, globally. But imagine if we had a country that worked. Imagine like the potential that would unleash for our industry.
I'm sure.
See. So it's just sad. It makes me sad.
But would you encourage like another I just got back that comes for Christmas?
Hey.
And it's like, oh, Nollywood looks shiny. I want to touch it. Will you encourage?
I would encourage, because I think with things like this, oftentimes you have to experience it for yourself. I feel like it's hard to sit here and be like, don't come. And they'll be like, but Shebi, you've done this. You're on Castle and Castle. You don't. So I can't. And everybody's journey is different. I think for me, that's something that I believe wholeheartedly, is that everybody's journey is different. So I'm not going to discourage anybody from doing what they need to do. I will say that wherever you want to go, just make sure you're plugged into the right circles, and plugged into the right network, because I think that will make all the difference. And I think that's something that I definitely benefited from when I moved back.
Yeah.
I called every uncle, every auntie, every cousin. I was like, who do you guys know that is in entertainment? Who can you introduce me to
See,
personally?
I feel what you're talking about is actually very healthy, because we
Yeah.
avoid this whole connection talk. I know we want to say, your talent matters, but networking is also very key.
It's very key. It's
So-
very in any industry, not even just in Nollywood. Like, it's about they say it's not about who you know, it's about who knows you, right? So I remember, and the way I met Auntie Mo, a cousin of mine knew her. So I had told him, I was like, I'm coming into town. Who do you know? He was like, I know Abuja. I was like, please, I'd love to set up a meeting.
Yeah.
That's how I met Auntie Mo. So there's no shame in working your networks. It's one thing if I wasn't talented and then they were now dashing me work. No, I'm backing up my networking with my talent. So by the time we now have that meeting, then I'm like, this is who I am, this is what I've done, this is what I bring to the this is the value I bring to the table. Not just, because my cousin said. They'll be like, who's this one? So you have to be able to back up your network with value, basically.
Okay, because people say a lot of
Your networking with value.
is it IJGB?
I just
You
got
people,
back.
Sha.
I did. We people.
And so you guys get like privilege with more jobs. Is that a thing? With because they say, the accents, the people are looking for shiny things to put on their screen. So do you believe, have you experienced that preference that, because she has an accent, because she's American Nigerian?
I think there are different kinds of privilege, right? I've lost a job before, and this one is straight from the horse's mouth, and I've confirmed it from 2 or 3 different sources that I didn't get a particular role because I was not the right skin color.
What does that mean? Like, did they write it in the script that the character?
They did not.
Did it affect the story?
The director, I'll be the producer. She wasn't the director. The producer told me, you were the best, but you didn't have the right look. And I knew exactly what she meant.
Oh, God.
And somebody else confirmed that to me, exactly why I didn't get the job. Was it because I was not? And back to my whole thing about audition and go. I cannot bleach my skin because I want to be lead. So I feel like privilege exists in different forms, right? And sometimes it benefits you and sometimes it doesn't. So let's not act like, it's always based on merit. Many times it is, many times it's not. There's such a thing as pretty privilege,
Yeah, that's very
it's a
common.
thing. I'm like, when you watch TV, you want to see beautiful people. You want to see fine boys, fine girls. Many times they get a lot of the jobs because they're fun to look at. I'm not going to go and kill myself because somebody did not think I was fine enough. So I feel like what is in my control is, like I said, the value that I bring to the table. I'm talented. I'm trained. I'm, again, grateful for the opportunity to have trained abroad. So I bring a lot to the table. And so if somebody hires me because I offer more value in a particular situation, are they being unfair? Do you know what I mean? Like, would you say that's unfair? I'm like, it's not. I don't think it is. And in other instances, whatever I brought to the table was not up to what somebody else was bringing to the table, and they got the job. So I feel like it depends on what they're looking for at a particular time. What is in my control is that I've done the work, is that I'm good at what I do. Take it or leave it. So about this, American privilege thing, is there some truth to it? I'm sure, but let it not be said that you only got cast because you were speaking Fone. When we now watch the film, I now do not say
It's only Fone
we
you're
were
speaking.
abused. Thank you.
It's only
So if
Fone
it's only
we're
Fone
seeing.
you're bringing to the table, then what's the point of that? So I always say, just back it up. Just back up whatever space you find yourself in, whatever privilege you have in that particular moment, make sure you back it up. That's how I define that.
So, like, you've had lots of wins, but how do you take I'm sure that, of course, there's rejection. You send me your tape, there's no answer, they air you. Yeah, that's like, I beg, I don't have time for this one.
Me, please.
So how do you take rejection?
I think rejection it's almost like a muscle that you develop, Sha, because it's never easy. And I don't even... I think the older you get and the more you understand how life works, because a lot of it is just life lessons, right? It's not even just about acting. You will experience rejection in life. The boyfriend the relationship that did not work out, or, you know, a dream that was dashed or didn't come true. So you learn. Life teaches you. Let me put it that way. Life teaches you, and you know, in your career, it's no different. So, with actors, we get used to rejection very, very early on. Like, see, when I graduated from college, in my mind, I was like, I'm going to book every audition. I'm going to blow. And like, give me 6 months. I'm going to blow. And then you're like, you get out into the real world and you're like, okay, about that. So let me find a job so that I'm not homeless on the street. So actors get used to rejection early because you will hear no a lot. You will hear no
plus insults.
You'll hear no more times than you hear yes. Actually, that's the truth. But it only takes that one yes. So for me, you're looking forward to that one yes. It takes that one yes to change everything. And then you forget about all the times you heard no, because you're like, I booked this job and I'm going to do it. And then when that job is done, you go back to the no's. And then you're like, oh gosh, my life sucks. I hate this. So it's a never ending cycle. So I say, you have to get used to it or you will jump off a bridge. But for me, I always look forward in hope to that yes that could possibly change everything. So that's what keeps me going.
So are you still waiting for the yes, or do you think you've hit that yes?
I've had a few good yeses. Please, my life is not over. We're just starting.
So we're clarifying that it's not one.
It's not
huge yes.
No. I don't think so. I think, again, back to that whole idea of, I don't know that I believe in a big break. Yeah. I think it's a series of small breaks that then, add up to like an amazing life, an amazing career. And I think, different breaks elevate you, I guess. It's like leveling up, right? Yeah. So it's like, okay, nobody knew me when I first came back. Okay, then I did Ebony Life. Then I was on, I was on people's TVs. Then we did Hush. Then I was on more people's TVs. Mm-hmm. Then, we now did Netflix. Oh, now, so it's like a ladder. You just keep kind of going higher and higher and higher, and expanding your circle and expanding your work and all of that. So I think everything just kind of builds. So
okay, so Fine, I'll Sing.
Yes.
So let's talk about Fine, I'll Sing. Yes. I watched it. I cried. My God, she made me cry. Like, it was that good. It was just talk about Fine, I'll Sing.
So
why and everything.
Fine, I'll Sing, as the title suggests, was you guys leave me alone. So remember how Fatimah asked me, like, oh, am I going to be a singer, recording artist? And I was just like, everybody leave me alone. So basically, Fine, I'll Sing was my answer to all the people who had been asking me to do something with my voice. It was a one-woman cabaret style show that I put together November of 2019 as part of the Lagos Fringe Festival. Shout out to the Uhohos. So Fringe is like a platform for, artists and creatives to do experimental work. So it was me basically just experimenting with music, experimenting with my story, and with a form of storytelling that you don't get to see often around these parts. So it was, I think I did about an hour, 50-minute show that basically I took the audience on a journey through my life using some Broadway songs that were inspiring to me and that I felt like correlated with what I was going through my life at different points in time. So I did for three nights. I did 3 nights. And yeah, it was the scariest thing I've ever done in my life. And I hope to do it again, but I'm like, COVID now happened and then everything shut down. So I hope to do it again. But it was, for me, it was my personal story that I wanted to share with the audience through Broadway music. So that's what Fine, I'll Sing was.
It was amazing.
Thank you.
Do you ever see yourself producing?
So I've done some producing. It's still hard to call myself a producer. So I produced Fine, I'll Sing.
Yeah.
And I also associate produced a stage play called High.
Yes, another amazing
it
one.
was a stage play written by my dear friend Osang Abang. So that was 2 Christmases ago, I believe. So it's
2018.
Was it 2018? Because we did it
Yes.
twice. We did it Christmas and Easter. So I think we did it
Yes, 2018 and 2019.
in 2019 April. Executive produced by the amazing Keke Hammond. Hi Keke, I love you. So it was about drug abuse, substance abuse, I guess, amongst youth and teenagers. So I associate produced that. Also one of the scariest things I've ever done, because I'm just like, who sent me? Like, who actually sent me?
Was that your first time producing?
That's my first producing anything like that. Yeah,
Ooh.
producing like a full play. Yes. Then I co-produced a short film called The Audition, which is available on YouTube.
Everything. I keep on saying that's amazing. That's amazing. But it's like The Audition is actually very good.
Yeah. You can watch that on YouTube. It's a short film that I co-produced with Demi Banwo, Ayomide Adeleke, who also wrote and directed, and Lola D. Dolapo Adeleke, as Lola D, as most people know her. So I've dabbled. But producing is hard. I was like, it's stressful, man. Like, it's so stressful.
What's hard about it?
Oh my God, it's so stressful. Like, I just feel like, so I'm not a person who likes details. And I feel like as a producer, you have to be detail oriented.
Yes.
I'm a very big picture person. I'm like, let's just be done. You know, all the details. I'm like, we have to make sure the driver is here at a particular time, and I have to make sure that the set designer is building the set.
Running the whole,
I'm like,
crew.
see, it's a lot. And I don't think it's not my personality, not my temperament. I'm like, I like the fun stuff. All the details, I'm like, please, don't stress me. But who knows? Maybe I think I want to maybe do a feature next. Maybe. I was
As
like, I
producer.
I want to do a feature.
Because you're stressed out from your short film already.
You're stressed out and you want to do a feature. I mean, level up, right? Try do things that scare you, so they say. So yeah.
Another scary one is directing.
Yes. Would I direct? I mean, I've directed like children's theater before. That I've actually done.
Camera directing.
But no. I feel like I don't have the range for that. There's a lot that I don't know about filmmaking.
Yeah.
That it would take me a while to gather the skills needed for that. So yeah, I don't know about that.
Okay. So this one, I feel the max is 3.
Okay.
The question is projects you wish you were in. Like something you watched, Nollywood or international, you're like, God, I really wish that was me.
I would say Glee. Because
because
come on.
You don't have to explain.
See, that's like my sweet spot right there. Like a show like Glee would just be life.
You're a less chaotic Rachel. Honestly,
I'll take that as a compliment.
A less chaotic. I have to put less because I can't just call it. No, I can't call it a less chaotic. That's the only way
I'll take
people
that
have not like jumped you.
Crazy.
Yes.
I'll take that as a compliment. Thank you. So that's TV. Let me do film. So I'm really quirky by nature. If you couldn't tell. So I tend to like really quirky rom-coms. So something like 500 Days of Summer would be like, I'm like Zooey Deschanel's character. Like that's my alter ego. So I'm like, that's me. So that for films, a film like that, I'm like, that would actually be fun. Then let's do proper live theater. I'd say like Once on This Island. Actually, it's funny. I sang a song from that in my one woman show. Actually, so a show like Once. It's one of my favorite absolute favorite
Never
Broadway
seen it, but I remember
shows.
you singing a song
Or
from
like
it.
Hamilton. Oh my God.
Everybody
like a
love
Hamilton.
musical
I'm
people
obsessed with
love
Hamilton.
Hamilton.
So let me say Hamilton because I feel like it's kind of, you know, more contemporary and fresh. But yeah, I would say Hamilton.
Are you still going to try for Broadway? Or your content being Nigerian?
And please, the world is big, dear. The world is big. We're thinking global now. So I'm actually, thank God for Blue Passport, Sha. So, you know, I can work in the States. So it's part of my plan is not really, because I'm like, I'm not leaving. I'm like, I live here. I've built a career here. And I'll continue to nurture it for as long as God, you know, spares my life. But I definitely will be going back to do some work in the States very
But
soon.
do you have any big plans here? Like, are you just sticking to acting? Like, do you see yourself, I don't know how to explain, but like becoming an Auntie Mo yourself?
So for me, I'd say my short-term dreams or goals.
Sorry,
right
I just feel like
now.
clarifying by Auntie Mo. I mean Mo Abudu.
Yeah.
Because she mentioned Auntie Mo, but I feel
Yeah.
people should know like
Yes.
Mo Abudu.
In terms of just like being like a creative mogul,
Media
I guess, like a media
mogul.
mogul. I don't know, actually.
Because
I'm
you seem
not
very
sure.
content.
I
Not a bad
am.
word, but
Oh,
like
no, I
very
actually-
okay with where you are,
totally
which is
understand
so
what you mean.
rare and good.
So for me, I know, obviously no shade to anyone. I think back to that whole everybody has their own path.
Yeah.
I feel like success can be defined in many different ways. So success doesn't look like just one thing, or, you know, it doesn't mean buying a house on Banana Island. Like if that's what you want, great. And I'm happy for you, but that's not what everybody wants.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, my definition of success, I would say, is doing good work, telling good stories, I guess, great stories. And I think impacting people around you and leaving the world a better place than it was, leaving it a better place, I guess, after you're gone. So for me, when I think of making impact, I'm actually really passionate about teaching. So I do quite a bit of teaching. I run an acting coaching workshop with my boo, Diana Yakini, who's also an actor, called the Real Deal Actors Workshop. And so we train people because I think that's like tangible impact that we can provide for our industry. A lot of people came into Nollywood with very little training. Many people are learning on the job, and it is what it is. Like, you know, it is what it is. So I think if you see a problem, if you have a solution, contribute.
Yes.
You know, it's not enough to just complain and complain and complain. Okay, what can
That's
you do to
nothing. Yeah.
exactly, like, how can you help? So we started this workshop. It's particularly targeted towards young aspiring actors, people who want to break into the industry and don't know where to start. So it's part acting class, part mentoring session, part casting, because, you know, we bring directors in, we bring producers in.
Yeah.
They give people feedback on, you know, whatever we do in class. They have access to us. They're able to ask questions. They're able to use us as a networking resource. So I feel like that's like practical, tangible impact that we've been doing with that. So I want to do more of that. And I love what Auntie Mo is also doing with the Ebony Life Creative Academy. I think it's so important, like, you know, to equip people to do the kind of work that will be reckoned with on a global standard. So I think that's important. So for me, money is nice. Don't get me wrong. See, money is sweet. Let me not lie to you guys. Money is nice, but that's not my goal. And I always say, if you're excellent in what you do, the money will come. So my purpose, I think, is to be excellent, and the money will follow. You know, it just will. I believe that. So yeah, I just want to tell good stories. I just want to do good work. I just want to help you. I just want to chill. Like, I don't like stress. See, I don't like stress. So yeah, I don't feel the need to take over the world. I'm not that ambitious.
You're staying in your lane
Stay in
and
my
just
lane,
enjoying it.
and just, in my own little bubble, I want to do the best I can with what I've been given, and I think that's enough for me. So I don't feel the need to take over the world.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, so what has been your most validating moment throughout your career?
Ooh, validating.
And it could be self-validation, internal, external validation.
I think. Okay, so I would say every time, and it hasn't happened a lot because we've always kind of been in two different countries. Whenever my dad gets to see my work,
Aw.
so he came to see. Was it Saro or Waka? I think it was Waka. I don't think he was around during was it Saro? No, it was Saro. Yes, he came to see Saro, the musical, which is a live musical that I did. He came to see. We went to see Knockout Blessing together at the cinema. So I think.
That's an amazing
I
film.
think on some level, thank you. I'm like, I
I've
can't
used
wait
that
for the
word.
world.
I've used that word so much today, but
I'm just amazing,
that's
guys.
your impact.
I'm pretty much just an amazing person. Yeah. So I would say, because like most of my American career, my parents were not in the States. So they didn't really, I don't think they understood
Were
what
they
I was
supportive?
doing. They were very supportive.
Oh,
But I think
nice.
it was more like sure, if that's what you want to do, have fun. But I don't think they fully got it.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, my mom passed away before she really got to see me in my element. But I'm glad that so whenever my dad's able to come to a show or watch one of my films and I'm there, it's just like he's just like, that's my baby, and I'm just like,
Oh, so sweet.
Yeah. So that, I think those moments for me are always just incredibly, incredibly touching, incredibly validating. My siblings, they came to every single show. I love you guys, but they were always there. So I think, especially with my dad in particular, I was just like, I'm glad that he gets to see my work. So
So are you still teaching classes? Like, if anybody wants to apply, are you like taking students in right now?
So we're trying to figure out the best way in these post-COVID times, because obviously we haven't been able to meet in person. So what we were planning on doing anyway was to do a workshop like once a quarter. But now we're like, okay, now that the whole world is on Zoom, let's Zoom it up.
Yeah.
So we're basically kind of trying to structure how we can have Zoom class. It can be a bit challenging just because you're like, okay, it's a lot of physicality and how do you structure, a virtual acting class? But you know what? We have to make it work. So we're actually discussing that right now. So I feel like in the next few months, we'll probably have like online signups for the Real Deal workshop. So
Okay. So I think we're coming to an end. Like,
oh, this is fun.
so
Actually,
parting words would be, for now, I've been doing the whole typical, what would you say to someone that's listening to you that wants to act?
Yeah.
But I really think it's important. So, your parting words to let's say mini Ade, but like a future. God, English is very hard.
Idea is neat.
But
I
you get,
understand, yeah. What would I say? It's funny because I'm like, I'm still on the journey and
But
still.
see, you're already saying it. That's something.
Because I'm like, it doesn't end. Like, there's no arriving. So I think I'd say enjoy the journey. It sounds so cliche, but I have to remind myself, because sometimes see guys, it's not all Instagram lies. Don't believe everything you see on Instagram, because there'll be some days where I'm at home jobless for weeks, sometimes months. Yes, it has happened. I've, not worked for months before. And you have to find one old picture of yourself smiling and you now just post it on Instagram. Living my best life is a lie. I'm in my bed and I just finished crying because I was broke and didn't know where the next job was coming from. And especially as somebody who I feel like is also coming out of a hard season, I think understanding that it's a journey and that those, rough times will come, but just keep going. is what I would say. I would say one of the biggest things that has helped me, and I think would probably help anybody, is to have a support system. Like, have your tribe, your BFFs, your family, whoever.
Outside work also is very important.
Yeah. I mean, even within work, because I'm actually really, really lucky. I have some amazing friends in the industry, and we keep each other grounded.
Fair.
We keep each other grounded. We're the same, kind of people, so we understand each other. There's no competition. There's no, we're not trying to one up each other.
It's healthy.
It's very healthy, very, very healthy. So you need some healthy friendships, healthy relationships inside and outside of the industry, because I feel like those are the people who encourage you and keep you going during those tough times. So it's like the bad times will come, but then the good times will come again, and then bad times will also come again, and then the good times will come. So it's a journey. So just keep going, and make some good friends along the way, because they'll keep you going when times get rough. So yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for your words and for singing. Thank you
You're
for
going to pay
singing.
me. You're going to pay me for that.
I'm paying you with hugs and love and prayers.
You know what? I will take everyone. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.